We the best, no contest. My clique is the best. We the best. There ain't no one like, cause of you dumb or you crazy. There's no way.
Welcome to Sports with G. I'm your host, Giancarlo Garcia, here with John Isaacson, bringing you the best takes on sports. Today we're going to break down into two topics, college football and the NFL. So starting with college football, I just want to start off real quick with the rankings. So the 2024 way too early ESPN college rankings have dropped, and I want to talk about that. So at number one, we have the Georgia Bulldogs. I don't know how I feel about that with them losing, some players. Losing Brock Bowers, that's going to be a big thing. I don't really see them being number one. I see them being in the top four definitely, but I don't know about number one. Number two, we have the Texas Longhorns, which I can understand. I mean, they did great this past season, but I think with a lot of like the transfer portal stuff and certain teams like Ohio State gaining so much power from Alabama, I think that Ohio State's going to be, obviously that's personal bias, but I think they're going to be in the top two definitely.
And Texas did pick up the fourth best player in the transfer portal from Alabama, Isaiah Bond, 5 stars. So obviously something to look for in their game.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be a great addition to the team, but we're going to see. At number three, we have the Oregon Ducks. I don't know about this one. I don't agree with this one at all. The first two I could somewhat agree with, but with them losing Bo Nix, I mean, I don't really think, they're going to be as good as they were before. But you never know. I mean, anything can happen. At number four, we have the Alabama Crimson Tide. And, I mean, it's Alabama, but Nick Saban is gone. So I definitely don't agree with this one. I think top 10 is correct, but
the GOAT of coaching. Just wanted to put that in there. Nick Saban.
I mean, they lost Caleb Downs. He's going to Ohio State. They lost commit Julian Sand, flipped to Ohio State. So I don't know. Speaking of Ohio State, at number 5 we have the Ohio State Buckeyes, which makes sense. I mean, they're going to be great. Will Howard, 5-star Jeremiah Smith. They have 5-star Aaron Noland. They have Julian Sand. And then out of the transfer portal, Caleb Downs. They're losing Kyle McCord. They already lost him. He went to Syracuse, but I think that's for the best. At number 6, we have the Michigan Wolverines. I don't agree with this. I think they should definitely be ranked higher. They just won a national championship. They went 15-0. I know they're losing a lot of their players. They're losing Blake Corum. They're losing J.J. McCarthy, Donovan Edwards, and they lost their head coach. But I don't know. I just think they should be a little bit higher.
Yeah, their head coach going to the Chargers in the NFL. So, from going to college football to the NFL, we'll see how that plays out. Chargers, pretty good team, but I don't know. We'll have to see how coaching does for him in the NFL.
I mean, yeah, with a young quarterback like Justin Herbert, I think it's a great spot for success. At number 7, we have Ole Miss Rebels.
The number one team currently the number one team that have picked up players in the transfer portal, their highest ranking.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss was decent last season, and just with a lot of people coming in, I think, this makes sense. Number 8, we have Missouri. I don't know about this one. That's just a weird look. Never really see Missouri in the top 10. I don't really watch Missouri. I don't have any takes on Missouri, so I guess we're just going to have to see what they do. At number 9, we have the Arizona Wildcats. Nothing to say there. Again, don't really watch them. Kind of unusual seeing them in the top 10 spot, but I guess it's just the way too early rankings. That's how it is. And lastly, at number 10, we have Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I like Notre Dame. I think they're a great program. So I think they're gonna be good this season. So number 10, I definitely do think they deserve to be in the top 10. So starting with, the next portion, we have the 16-team playoffs. John, how do you feel about that? What do you think about that?
I think the 16-team playoffs is a great idea, especially after this year, the controversial missing of Florida State in the playoffs. I mean, obviously, you can go either way. I mean, the other teams could said to be better, but, I mean, still an undefeated season, I think, should result in to be in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. I don't think Florida State was going to win, but I think, they should have gotten what they deserved with, being in there. Undefeated, and then you get snubbed. That's just not fun. Or not fair, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do think that the 16-team playoff will be a great addition to college football. I mean, a brand new look, and I mean, obviously, I think that's something good. New looks, yeah.
All right, so we got the transfer portal and NIL deals. So I know we talked a little bit about the transfer portal already, about some players, going in and out. How do we feel about should players just be able to get up and go whenever they want?
I think that college football and the NFL is obviously a big difference, in my opinion. I think that college football, I think the players should really stay. But I mean, I feel like also with like Alabama, if they committed for the coach, I do see a reason for them to leave. But yeah, I mean, a lot of that goes into NIL though, with money.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that, if you went to Bama for Nick Saban, because that's who recruited you, that you do have an excuse to leave. But, in the NFL, once you get drafted to a team and you sign a contract, you can't just get up and leave, and you're getting paid a lot of money. And also now in college football, you're getting paid a lot of money too. So it's just, I don't think you should just be able to get up and go. But, yeah, I guess that's how it is now. And, yeah, so we're going to talk about the transfer portal. We got the number one player in the transfer portal, Caleb Downs, going from Bama to Ohio State. I think Ohio State's going to be great next year. I think they're definitely in the run for a national championship. Aaron Nolan, Julian Sayin. Julian Sayin flipped from Alabama to Ohio State, too. So, a lot of Bama people are just leaving. And also, I want to talk about Washington. Not saying Washington in the top 10 was expected, because they're losing everyone they have. Literally every single starter from offense and defense, they are losing them, which is unfortunate because they were a great team. But I'm excited to see what Michael Penix can do in the league, and just wondering, what teams he's going to get drafted to. All right, so now I want to talk about the NFL. So for the draft, who do we think is going first in the draft this year?
I think it's really hard to look, but I mean, for Bears fans, people have lots of different opinions on who they should take. But personally, I'm going to stand with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that Fields, we have a new offensive coordinator, and who also coached players like Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott, I believe. So I think to have someone like that helping him out is going to advance his game, and having a receiving core with players such as Marvin Harrison Jr. will help out him and the Bears.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that, bringing in another quarterback is just going to we're going to need to build around him. He's going to need to learn. It's going to take us another year. I say we build around Justin Fields and see what he can do, because he's a great quarterback, came out of Ohio State. We saw what C.J. Stroud did this year. They have the same exact coaching. I think that C.J. Stroud's going to be a great quarterback. I think Justin Fields can be too. So I want to talk about the awards for this year, MVP, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. I think that the MVP should go to Lamar Jackson. And although he was not able to beat the Chiefs, I think that he still really had a really great season.
Yeah, so the award finalists for the MVP are going to be Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, CMC, Dak Prescott, and Brock Purdy. So, out of those, I think Lamar Jackson, I agree with G, should really be that player. But
yeah, and my number 2 would be Josh Allen, because, all right, MVP would be like something, not who's got the best team. I think it's who is the best player, and Josh Allen doesn't have the best team. He was able to carry his team and really put it on his back. So, yeah, I think that number 2 would be Josh Allen. I think Brock Purdy deserves that spot in the conversation, but not really the winner, because his team around him is just so good. And just lastly, who do we think is winning the Super Bowl, real quick?
Personally, I think that even though the media does not want it, I think the Chiefs are looking better coming into this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
I think the Chiefs too. I don't want it to happen, but yeah. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching Sports with G, and we'll see you on the next episode.
We the best, no contest. My clique is the best. We the best. There ain't no one like, cause of you dumb or you crazy. There's no way.